Hi, what's up, everyone? So, welcome to week 3 here to the email campaign planning playbook. Today I want to teach you how to create an email campaign calendar for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Not only emails, but also SMS, postcards, push, whatever you're sending this Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And the goal is to have you stand there at the end of the session and know exactly when you will be sending, who you will be sending to, which channels you will be using to promote Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and what you will have to offer your customers. And I will also add some Canva templates at the very end so that you can also plug and play, use this as a plug and play asset basically for your strategy. So I actually prepared somewhat of a step-by-step instruction here, which we will go through in this video, which is first define your starting point, then choose your strategy, then technical setup, and then design and write content. I will quickly just show you how long this is, but a lot of this is actually just a couple of photos, and I also added all of the links down here, which I will talk about in this video, and then also show or reference a little bit later. But if you don't want to kind of like go through all of this, you can also already open all of these files and then work along this. So let's start with defining your starting point. So no matter if you're planning a big strategy, a big campaign, or a small one, you will always want to see which days are actually relevant for you. So for most people, that's actually the 25th, 22nd, 27th, 28th, 29th, 20, or the 30th of November, and then 1st, 2nd, 3rd of December. Just answer these questions for yourself, see what works for you or what you guys have planned. And I will also go into different strategies right after we define your starting point. First just see which days are actually relevant for you and when you want to send what will actually come right after. Then how many channels are you actually planning to use? So for example, are you only using email? Are you also using WhatsApp, SMS, whatever? If you're also using postcards, for example, you might want to consider sending some before Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and then afterwards as well. During is a little bit difficult, we found, at least last year. We had a few issues there, but define which channels you will be using. Then also which offers do you want to promote. So for example, I put some of the discounts or of the offers that we use in here. So for example, we really like tiered discounts, which means like 10% off on orders above $50 or 20% off on orders above $80. Please keep in mind that you don't just say 10% off on 50, 20% on 100, because then the 10 is the same as the 20 for 100. So always make sure that that the second number is lower than the double of the first one. So for example, if you say 10% off $50, it should be 20% off of at least $90 or maximum $90. It can't be $100, so that they really actually save a little bit more there. That's actually something that I've been seeing in some of the campaigns in the internet, and it's pretty wild. Then also bundles are super good for us. This is something that we usually use, especially if we have some SKUs that don't move as quickly and we pair them with bestsellers. So for example, if we say, and this is especially great if you have expiring products. So for example, let's say you have something that really doesn't sell well and it's about to expire. Let's say you have, I don't know, some food or some beverage that you actually have to get rid of. Then you can couple that with a bestseller and actually give that slow moving product pretty much away for free. And then also what you can do is free product plus shipping if you have really high margins on something. So for example, something usually costs you, I don't know, $2 or $3 to produce, and then you sell it for $15. Then you can also go with the loss leader strategy, which is actually giving away a free product plus shipping. And then or if you have expiring products where like we would rather have somebody try our product than throwing it away, then you can also go with free plus shipping here. So make sure you know exactly which offer you are using and when. Then do you have different customer groups? So for example, do you have only your newsletter subscribers, purchasers who didn't subscribe, subscribers who didn't purchase, purchasers who haven't purchased in a long time, VIPs, loyalty programs, so all of that jazz should actually be in here, so that you know exactly kind of like which day, which channel, which offer, and then which group, so which audience. So yeah, as soon as you know all of these, we can go to step 2, which is basically choosing your strategy. And I know there are a lot of strategies out there. I've also just checked like YouTube and LinkedIn a little bit, and it's really, really wild. And the thing is, you can go with a lot of different ones, but usually I found that we use three strategies all the time. One is actually the classic sale, which is basically a teaser, VIP or loyalty early access, then launch, reminder, extension. Extension, I don't mean like a Chrome extension or something. I just mean that you're basically extending the window of the sale. So yeah, this is pretty classic, as pretty much everybody does it. Then flash sale. Is something where for example, if we pretty much use the classic sale for every brand, except for the ones where we actually have problems. So for example, the flash sale, I also put that in here, brands with products that are difficult to sell, and also I also wrote it down here a little bit more clearly so that it's easier to understand. Just so you know. But the flash sale, for example, we use it if products are difficult to sell and we want to have more angles in the offers. So for example, we could say, hey, we're having like a 14-day or 10-day flash sale series. So every day we are launching a new sale that's basically secret. And offering something new. So for example, today it's 20% off. The day after it's four products for the price of one and stuff like that. So that way we can kind of like target different audiences and get different buyers to buy, because some people don't like 20% off. They rather prefer like $20 off, like a fixed amount, or they like bundle deals and something. I also wrote that down here. So yeah, if you want to check that out, then you can read that here. So this is for that problem. And then the third sales strategy that we usually use is for smaller brands, so that we don't even focus too much on Black Friday and Cyber Monday, but rather on the time before and after Black Friday and Cyber Monday, because the thing is, some of our brands are a little bit smaller, below 100 grand a month, for example, and they don't really have the budget to compete with the others, and it's usually easier for them. And we've also seen that with other brands last year. It was also a big trend. I think it was called Golden November or something, where actually the entire November was already full of discounts. So if you're a smaller brand, or at least that's what we're doing for our smaller brands, we definitely recommend to send when not everybody is sending, which is like a few weeks before or after Cyber Monday. And then during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, just do something small. And try to just get your sales in over a longer period of time. Whereas with bigger brands, they can obviously just focus on Black Friday, Cyber Monday and be good there. Then also a quick note there, yes, you can also combine them. So for example, if you say, hey, you are quite a big brand with more capacity, then you can also do the classic sale, but do that pre, during, and post Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So obviously that's also combinable. That said, again, like you can check that out here. I also wrote something about the cadence and sending time. So cadence, usually during the teasing phase, we send about 1 email per day between, for example, the November 18th and 24th. Then when we are launching, so November 25th until December 2nd, we usually send 2 to 4 emails a day. 4 is already a lot. I like to go around like 2 to 3 actually, but for some we do 4 actually, and that's mainly announcement and reminders. So I will also show you an example calendar in a second, but this is usually for, hey, this new offer is live right now, and hey, like that's the announcement. And then the next one is actually, hey, don't forget that this offer is live right now. And the third one, for example, could be the teaser for the next one on the next day, and that they should sign up for early access on the next offer or whatever. So yeah, or you could also do offer stacking at the end of the day. But yeah, it's just important that you really get like everything out of the launching season or the launching period. And yeah, then during extension, we are actually sending 2 per day. So those are your casual reminders, one in the morning, one in the evening. And then you can also, as optional, send other channel messages. But yeah, I will also talk about Omnisend strategy in a second. So send time, I usually never send at the full hour. So for example, I don't send at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. or whatever. I usually like to wait for another 15, 30 or 45 minutes. So I would send at quarter past. What is it? What is the other one called? Yeah, 30 minutes after, like 7:30 or 7:45, for example. Because that way you are actually avoiding that you're overlapping with most of the other brands' emails. And you are actually, yeah, just like 15 minutes before the other ones or 30 minutes after the other ones. So yeah, you're actually coming in at a way better time, because most brands actually always send to the hour. Then yeah, obviously if you see that your audience always converts at the same time, then you can also go with, I don't know, for example, 1 p.m. if that works for you. But yeah, I just wanted to tell you this, and you can obviously A/B test it on your end. Then yeah, you can also orient yourself between like the morning time 6:15 until 9:15, or evenings 7:15 to 10:15 p.m. Midday is usually not that well performing. I saw in a couple of blogs and also in our client accounts from 2024, so from last year. So yeah, I would definitely not, yeah, go too deep into like the midday, because probably, yeah, most of the times people are actually still working, and no matter if it's on the weekend or not, like people usually have breakfast at the same time, do something over the day, and then in the evening they also calm down again. So that's that. And obviously, if you have a really strong community, you can also do like a midnight launch. So that's also something that you can consider. Then you can also, the images here on School are a little bit small, so you can also consider downloading these and then deleting them right after. But this is just like a quick overview here. So for example, you have the Black Friday, Cyber Monday teaser here on Tuesday. Then on Thursday, you have early access and early access reminder. So for example, saying, hey, we are launching at midnight, for example, or yeah, we're launching at midnight. And then, for example, you could say in the morning, hey, sign up for our midnight early access, or you already get access at 8 p.m. tonight. And then you could send a reminder at, for example, I don't know, 7:30, saying, hey, this is your last chance to get the early access. And then they would get the early access at midnight or at 8 p.m. or whatever, so that you're already having like this pre-launch basically. And then on Friday you are launching in the morning, AM launch, then reminder in the midday, and then yeah, PM you are sending another email. Then on Saturday you are actually extending, so you are either talking about like you're either just mentioning reminders of, hey, this offer is live right now. You could also talk about how much stock is left and all of that stuff. You could also go with different offers. So for example, as I said in the beginning, you could have something like a tiered discount here, and then on the second day you can have like a buy one get one free or something. In the morning, then midday reminder, and then in the evening you could have a last chance email. And then on Sunday, you can have another extension in the morning, and then the teaser for Cyber Monday in the evening. So yeah, that's usually what we do, or at least this is an example of one of the brands where we are currently planning this. So yeah, that said, I also want to talk about the omnichannel strategy real quick. I know this is mainly for email marketing, but if you also send with other channels, I always highly recommend you to send the cheapest message first. So email is usually the cheapest. You obviously have to look at your rates, but there's no way that SMS is cheaper than your emails. And then WhatsApp, and then push, and then postcards, because obviously that's kind of like the hierarchy there. And I would always allow the first message to convert for like 2 to 5 hours. You can obviously shorten this or extend this, but this is usually what works for us, giving them at least 2 hours, because even if they are really, really engaged, they might be doing something else for 2 hours. So we actually tend to do like 4 or 5 hours rather. So for example, if I send an email at 8 a.m. in the morning, I could send them something at for example, 1 p.m. or something, 1 or 2 p.m. Through SMS if they didn't convert by then. But I would never actually layer both messages, so email and SMS at the same time. That's what I see a lot of people do. For example, they say, hey, at 8 a.m. we have to send out all of our messages all at once. But if people already convert through the email, why would you send out an SMS, right? So at least that's what I'm doing. And because then the conversion was just cheaper. So it doesn't make any sense, especially with bigger brands that this is often overlooked. Then, if the second not alternative, but the second way is actually if people can't receive emails, so they can't even receive the emails at all, you can obviously skip them and go right into the other channels right away. So, for example, you don't have to wait with your SMS sends until the email is out if they can't even receive the emails. So I would actually send, for example, if you want to send at 8 a.m., I would send the email to everybody who can receive email marketing at 8 a.m. Then also at 8 a.m., send the SMS to everybody who can't receive email marketing. And then, for example, like 4 or 5 hours later, send the SMS to everybody who could have received email marketing but didn't convert. I hope that makes sense. So that's kind of like what I would do there in terms of omnichannel management. So until now, before we go into technical setup, you have already learned kind of like what your starting point is, which day to use, which channel to use, which offer, which groups you're actually targeting, and then also which sales strategy you want to go with. So you should be good to go by now. And then we can actually go into the technical setup. So for example, if you're saying, hey, I want to send to VIPs, for example, you need certain segments for that. And I would show you kind of like what we need for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, because a lot of people actually overthink this a lot and get overwhelmed. And then at the end of the day, they don't do anything. So there are actually 4 types of segments, in case you are not too familiar with this. So there are inclusive ones, which means that you want to send to those people. Exclusive, so excluding people, that means you want to avoid to send to them. Then you have list cleaning, which means you want to remove people from the list forever. And then also reporting. So basically for all of your stats and analytics. But for this example, we only need inclusive and exclusive, because the other 2 are not very, very relevant for our campaign strategy right now. So here are a couple of segments that you can actually create for yourself. I already mentioned them in the beginning, with like newsletter subscribers, VIPs, and all of that. So the thing is, last time I talked about this, I actually got a lot of different opinions from different people. So this time I will actually have you create a few for yourself. I will just point you in one direction, because the thing is, like, this has worked for us and we have been working with more than 500 brands since 2019. But obviously, if you want to change something about those, then change something. I will just show you how we do it, and then you can decide if you want to use it or not. So our inclusive segments are usually active engaged profiles. You can see the definitions in here and just rebuild them in your Klaviyo account. So for example, we say can receive email marketing, because obviously that's super important for us to have it like this in the segment. And then place order at least once in the last 180 days. That's a sign of engagement. Then created is is created in the last 90 days. That's also very engaged. Or clicked an email is greater than 3 in the last 90 days. Or has viewed product is greater than 2 in the last 90 days. That, in my opinion, is an actively engaged profile. Some people also add opens, but in my opinion, opens just inflate the segments unnaturally. So yeah, I feel like opens shouldn't be in there, but in some occasions I also do it, but then at least I want to exclude the Apple privacy opens. So what we also do is we actually use multiple of these. So for example, we would extend the different windows or narrow them down. So for example, I would also create different engagement windows here. For example, saying a person has purchased within the last 90 days, was created in the last 30 days, has clicked an email 5 times in the last 90 days, or has clicked 3 times in the last 30 days. So narrowing that down or making it a little bit wider and doing that a couple of times. And then sending to all of those segments in one send. That's also something that definitely makes a lot of sense, because then you can also see who converted from which bracket, and then you're also able to analyze things better once Black Friday, Cyber Monday is over. Okay, so off to future VAPs, for example, we actually have something in here that's called historic customer lifetime value is greater than 100 grand. And then also, so predictive analytics about someone. And then person can receive email marketing because person subscribed. The person can receive email marketing because person subscribed is actually in there because we do everything DSGVO conform and also GDPR conform. If you don't care too much about that, you can also take out the because person subscribed and just have like can receive email marketing, and then the historic customer lifetime value is greater than 100. So you know exactly, okay, this person has already spent more than $100 with us, which in your case might be little or a lot. So yeah, just modify that for yourself and then see how you want to do it down here. You can obviously also turn this around and have this be cannot receive email marketing for your SMS or WhatsApp campaigns, so that you can run through the strategy that I explained previously, where you're sending the email and the SMS at the same time. So one goes to everyone who can receive email marketing and the SMS to everyone who can't. Then I also have the 90 days engaged in here, where I actually have this. Oh wait, did I include it here? Yes, at the very top. So what someone has done, opened email at least once in the last 90 days where Apple privacy open is false. So I actually included this to kind of like show you what that looks like on my end when I have the opens in here as well. And then also clicked, created, and then can receive email marketing. Just a different variation of the previous one. So those are all the segments that we use for sending. So all of the inclusive ones. And then if you actually like, it also depends, obviously. Like usually we are a little bit more narrow or more selective with the segments that we use. But for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and Q4 in general, we are really, really just like wide and just sending, because your domain reputation won't take as much damage. Or enough damage in that time frame that it would make sense for you to like not send that many emails, because you might lose out on more revenue than you could. How should I phrase this? If you care too much about your deliverability throughout Q4, you're probably risking way more revenue than you could have made in the future, because it's only a couple of days where you are kind of like hurting your deliverability there. But I would just send a lot and squeeze as much out as possible. Obviously not being spammy, but being very hands-on and being like, hey, are you sure that you didn't miss our our latest offer? But anyway, so I also included the bounced emails in here. So exclusion segments, you should definitely exclude bounces. Just look into this. I'm actually saying if someone can receive email marketing and email is set. This was something where Klaviyo had a bug and we actually had to put this in there. Obviously, always the email is set, but it had to be in there. And then, and what does someone has done? Bounce email at least once over all time, where bounce type equals hard, or where bounce email is soft, where they bounce at least 3 times in the last 90 days. So that's actually something to make sure that you're not sending to people that can't receive your emails despite being subscribed. So you actually, the people are not suppressed, otherwise they wouldn't be in can receive email marketing. But if we are sending emails out, they are not landing in the inbox. That can have 1,000 different reasons, and this way you're actually excluding them. Then DSGVO can receive email marketing because person never subscribed. That's just something that I always do put in there. We just got a lawsuit once in more than 500 projects, and or twice. I think twice. But anyway, so we went into a lawsuit that I can definitely remember. So I will always put this into my campaigns, at least for our German customers. Then I would also recommend you check your settings. So specifically for Black Friday Monday, Cyber Monday, we always turn smart sending off. I know some people disagree with that. I always do it. We do that for flows as well. Obviously, this is about campaign planning, but I just wanted to mention that as well. UTM parameters need to be turned on so that we can really track everything everywhere correctly. Obviously, like an app like Amos, the Pixel, I don't know too much about it, to be honest. Like, I don't know how it works like technically, but we installed this for all of our clients already before so that we can really like see all of the attributed revenue afterwards. And yeah, that's awesome. Then pop-up should be an exit intent one for capturing emails. So in case you currently have like a page load, you have a page load pop-up that pops up after like 2 or 3 seconds or directly on page load, and you just want to capture emails through that. I would definitely not do that because you're getting so much traffic onto your website, and usually you only have the unless you have an app like Amos, for example, you only have the 14 days cookie tracking, so that when people come in during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, they might see the pop-up still, even though they are subscribed to your email newsletter already. So I would definitely use an exit intent, otherwise it might really drag down your site's conversion. And if the pop-up is regarding BFCM, so for example, you're saying, hey, our sale is live right now, copy the discount from this pop-up, then obviously you can do it on page load. But everything that's there to capture emails, especially with like a huge amount of ad spend that you're probably backing this campaign up with, I would definitely go with an exit intent rather than a usual pop-up with like a page load or a second delay. Then, I would also set the billing to auto downgrade. It's completely insane. I've seen so many brands last year send a lot of emails in November and December, which is totally fine. But then in January, they didn't downgrade their plan, so they went back to normal sending volume, but the plan was still on very, very high up on the level of November and December. And they ended up paying a lot of money. So there was one brand where we cut the spend from 14 grand to 7 grand, and after that we were even able to lower it down to about 4 grand, for 3 or 4 grand, I don't even remember. But if you think about that, we were around like 3 or 4 grand that we're paying right now, and previously we were like 14 grand because we just had so many SMS sends, and WhatsApp wasn't even a thing back then. So I know we had a lot of SMS sends and a lot of email sends, and we were paying about like $10,000 for half a year. So if you do that for 6 months, that's 60 grand. And for that money, you could probably invest something into something way better. So please do this. Just don't question this. It's good for you. So and then dedicated sending domain should have been added anyway. I put it in here in case somebody doesn't have it set up. then yeah, just please do that. Check all third-party tracking connections in the API or integration steps. So for example, if you have any integrations that run on API or in the integration step, make sure that they are connected before going into Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I've seen dozens of stores that don't do this. There are some apps that they are still paying a few $100 for, but nobody checks this. So then for example, we had a delivery app actually that cost us like $400, and it actually scales with orders. So it actually always got more expensive the more we scaled. And then after a few months, somebody actually came up to someone from the team and actually asked like, "Hey, did we like make any revenue from this app?" They asked me to pay this next bill, which was pretty high. And it turned out this app wasn't working for a couple of months. So yeah, please make sure that all of your integrations and everything is working. So that said, we can go into step 4, design and write content. So by this time, your starting point, what was the second thing? The strategy you want to use. Then the technical setup, so everything is set up technically. Your segments are set up, exclusion segments, inclusion segments, and then also the settings in your account. And then you can go into designing and writing all of your content. So here for example, I didn't go into too much detail. I just want to go more over like inspo and stuff, because last time it wasn't really used when I went deeper into it, because you probably also have your own process here, but I will just go into it anyway. So you can see I actually have another course. It's called 0 to 100K email marketing, and there I have an entire doc on how to create a master template. And if you haven't done this already, then I would highly recommend you do this. This is going to be paid really soon. So right now it's free. And as long as it's free, please use it. And you can pretty much go into everything here. You can check out announcement bars, copy them into your Canva, use testimonial blocks and stuff like that. So there's pretty much everything in here that you need to know. And at the end of the day, will look something like this in your Canva board. So please check that out before it gets paid. That said, I want to go into a couple of different designs that I really like. So one is actually tiered discounts and bundles and urgency. As I mentioned, this in school it's a little bit odd with the opening here of the different images. I hope that works. I don't know if I can show you this so well, I really like this one because it has this site-wide offer, which is tiered. So you have orders above $80 $10 off. Then for orders above $120, $30 off, and so on. Then they also had bundles, which is basically this here. And then they also had some sense of urgency down here with up to 60% off. So this is a set discount with like dollars. This is 60%. And then they also have bundles. So they pretty much have everything in here, which is pretty cool. And I really liked this campaign specifically because it just sticks out in my opinion. And it's still kept pretty clean. So I like that a lot. Then you can also see a GIF in here. So Black Friday, which was pretty sick actually, from Carhartt. Black Friday starts now. Super simple, to the point, but a lot of people actually don't know this, or at least they don't do it. They don't use it, which is using GIFs in your emails. So you can do that in Klaviyo, you can do that in pretty much every other software, and it's just something that's overseen a lot. Then subscription discount, which is also something that I like a lot. A lot of businesses that follow me are subscription businesses or have some kind of subscription. So actually giving 4 months off on subscriptions. I know this is a lot. This is very small, but I will just read it to you. 25% off first 4 months on all subscriptions, and then they also have USPs down here, which you can also then look into. So then teaser with date and details. That's actually an app from an email from Apple where they say get ready to shop our 4-day event here, and they start with this calendar view over here. Have some USPs. So for example, Apple Card, Apple. I think it says trade-in, free delivery and pickup and all of that stuff. So yeah, I really like that because it's a cool teaser essentially with like the 26, 27, 28 here. And yeah, just like food for thought for you to look into. Then I also had this one, which is a quite casual one. It just says 70% off and then has, for example, a 2-year warranty, 30-day 30-day trial, yes. And then, yeah, it's pretty straightforward, just a USP with discount, and that's that. Then you can also go into reallygoodemails.com. It's also where I got these emails from, and also Mild. So let me show you these here. For example, if I just go through these here, through these emails, let me just go into, I don't know, this one. And then I can see, I don't know, us misleading rating. Start filtering for 50% off for 6 months. Black Friday deal. Use code Black Friday, so that's fine. I can also get inspired a little bit more here. See what's going on. And for example, if I have a food and beverage brand, then I can also check out some here. For example, let's say, I don't know, I have a brand that does pizza or pizza stuff. Then I can go here and check this out and actually get inspired there a little bit. Because I always feel like it's not that I don't know how to do emails. It's rather like sometimes I'm missing the inspiration, and this just helps a lot. And also, if you want to go to brands that are a little bit bigger in general, you can also, for example, check out Nike here at Mild and check out all of their emails. So yeah, this is obviously not only for Nike. You can also find Adidas, I don't know, Apple, a lot of huge brands actually. Amazon, Sephora, Goop, I don't even know most of these, Gap, and then yeah, a lot of different emails you can see in here. So that's all fine. And then I also added 3 different articles that I've been reading previously as well to prepare for this Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And yeah, here for example, 38 slightly different Black Friday email examples, and then you can go into each and every one of them, and it will actually show you this here. So you can see a little bit more with a nice explanation of each. And the thing is, like, I could have written this in school as well, but I was like, hey, let me just let me just put this in here as a link so that you can just open it and read through it yourself. Then yeah, we're pretty much done for this week actually. Next week we are covering the must-have Klaviyo flows. I already have a small sneak peek in here on what that looks like, because we will talk about the entire funnel from visiting your website to pop-up occurs, browse this product, add it to cart, initial checkout and stuff like that. I don't want to overwhelm you right now, but this is just a small little sneak peek. And then also, I said once you are done with this entire lesson, you can go all the way up here and actually mark this as done. And that way it will automatically show you like a process bar up here. So yeah, please always make sure that you have this ticked. And then yeah, at the very end, you can also access all of these different links all together. So yeah, but before I turn this off, let me quickly go through all of this once again. So we defined your starting point. You should be you should know exactly like who you're sending to, which dates are relevant, which channels, then which strategy you're going for. For example, the classic one is probably the one that you will be going with. Then you can set up the technical setup. So pretty much all of the different segments and also the account settings. And then once you're done with that, you can get inspired by a few of the emails that I just showed you. Use the free master template course, where I also have some Canva templates in there. And then yeah, you should pretty much be good to go with your campaign calendar. And yeah, that's it. You can already be excited for next week for the flows. And yeah, thank you so much for checking this out, and see you on the next one.